movie album in 1989, which is dated in 1989 on the back of the cover. So, hint one, the hint on that album says it's Aron Records, spelled with one A, not two. And the same producer did Mississippi Memories, Sweet Mississippi Memories, which I will share another day. So I'm going to show a comparison video of a song. Is my mic muted? Hi everybody. I hope you guys had a great Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all of you on and around the world. And we are going to continue our chapter. We're almost done, I think, of this chapter, but this part of the chapter, she does a lot of questions. She asks a lot of questions. But in the meantime, before that, I'm going to say hello to some people that are jumping on here. We have Bettina, but she told me that she went to bed, so she'll catch up in the morning. So, Bettina, when you watch this, hello. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a good, happy New Year, and you can watch this. It will be on video and on recording for the rest of its life, I guess. It doesn't expire, so that's a good thing on YouTube only. All right. Hi, Judy. How are you? I don't know if Jim is joining me. I know he hasn't been feeling well lately. So, just bear with me too. I have a little bit of a head cold going on. It's running around in the house. But yeah, I'm here and I'm able to talk. So if you see me blow my nose or cough or something, just bear with me on that. All right. And then we have, hi Rita, how are you? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that your husband is sick. That's okay, no problem. Catch up when you can, no problem. Hi, Raksha. All right. How you doing tonight? Hi, Nan. How are you tonight? Hi, Mitchell. How are you? Happy New Year to you. Hi, Sandy. Hi. Hi, Michelle. How are you tonight? I'm glad you're doing better. I've seen your comments. I haven't done anything on my other channel in the last couple of days. I think I'm just taking a break from all this recording. The holidays were busy, so I'm glad everybody's doing good. Oh, hi. Oh, wow. Blue Mountain, Australia as well. Okay. Michelle's from Australia as well. Coral Moon, how are you tonight? She's from Australia. Wow, all these people from Australia. Hello to my Australian folks. Hi, Sarah. How are you tonight? Oh, your name is Manny? Okay, I'll try to remember. It might take me a little while, but I'll get there. All right. So I'm going to start reading the chapter. It is quite long still. I want to finish this chapter up in the next episode or two, so hopefully we can. Hi, Julianne. How are you tonight? Happy New Year. Like I said, I haven't heard from Jim. I know he was not feeling well. Last time I checked with him. Keep him in your prayers. If he comes on, I will get him on here. All right. So in the meantime, I'm going to continue on where I left off so we can finish this chapter eventually. She is still continuing to cover this book. But in this portion of the chapter, she does a lot of questions. She asks a lot of questions because she felt that that the doctor didn't put enough information in the book. And she said if he asked more questions, he probably would have gotten more answers. Okay, so she said, not once did Dr. Hinton tell us if he asked Elvis questions or what they were if he did. Elvis had so much to tell us, and I'm really disappointed that the information was not shared. Since he said that Dr. Hinton could ask him anything, it seems to me that other people in the group would also have told Dr. Hinton to ask some of their questions. The book would have been more interesting and certainly could use the additional content. So if Elvis would have told me if I could ask him anything I wanted to, I would have asked him, would you confirm where you left when you left Graceland and Memphis, and where did you go? How long did you stay? And at that time, did you have anyone living with you, and who were they? All right. So I can tell you that a couple things on the timeline. What has been revealed in the Elvis tapes is that he said he went to Hawaii, stayed on an island somewhere. I think Jim had told me something like he went to Buenos Aires for a little while as well. So he did do some traveling, but we also know that he was home for New Year's because that year in 1970, the new year in 1978, of course, that picture was taken of him at the pool house. So we know that this was done. I'm just going to pull it up here so we can. This picture here was done at the pool house on December 31st, 1977. So we know for a fact that he was at, in the pool house around his birthday, Christmas, the couple months, actually 4 months after he supposedly died. Okay. So, and we have, a lot of people were saying that was Alstrada, but no, that's not Alstrada in that picture. But anyway, so I would think that in that timeline, we kind of know he revealed some things about where he was, what he did. Also, in Elvis Found Alive, he had mentioned that he went and worked in a hotel in Kalamazoo, Michigan, in like the early 1980s or somewhere in there. That he was thinking of going into witness protection, but did not go into witness protection program. So he did reveal some of that stuff, but he didn't reveal it in his book. So this is why she's asking these questions. He also revealed that he was with his probably girlfriend. He probably had security with him, somebody to watch him or whatever. So anyway, she's asking some more of these questions. Were you the person behind the screen at Graceland? Were you shocked when you saw the picture? The person who took the picture later said that he did not think it was you. Did the Presley estate have anything to do with him changing his mind? So I had just gone over that picture. Now he had revealed to Linda Hood Sigmund that it was him in that pool house photograph. And he had admitted to it on Elvis Found Alive. So those things were mentioned. Now, I think Elvis Found Alive was done after this, before this, after this book. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, so she had a lot of questions to ask him. Did you ask Priscilla to go with you so that you could still be active in Lisa Marie's life? What did Priscilla tell you when you told her of your plans? How long did you wait before you contacted her? Would you tell us about your meetings with Lisa Marie? What ages was she? Where did you meet? Was it difficult explaining to her why you were doing what you were doing? She's on the premise that she thinks Lisa Marie knew ahead of time, which she did not know. It was revealed in the book. Lisa Marie was told a few months later. All right. Was it difficult? So I'm going to say it probably was a very difficult thing for him to reveal that he was around. Did she ever tell you she felt bad about lying? Did you attend her weddings? If so, did you disguise yourself as a relative? Now, we could always ask her, did you attend her funeral? I mean, in disguise? We don't know. Okay. But we know that he took it very hard. Anyway, if so, did you disguise yourself as a relative? Did you feel bad that you couldn't walk her down the aisle? How old were your grandchildren when you first saw them? How did you feel when you learned you were going to be a grandpa? Or like they say in the South, pa? All right. So we know that he at least saw Benjamin Guido at a year and a half. I'm not sure if that was his first meeting, but in the picture here, where is it? Oops, maybe I got the wrong slides. Anyway, in his picture that he had allowed Dr. Hinton put in the book, this one, the little boy in the lap is Benjamin Keel at like a year and a half old, roughly. So we know that he knew his grandchildren there. We're not sure when he was involved, when he met with Riley or anything like that. We don't know how he felt about being a grandpa, but I'm sure he felt it was a big privilege. I'm sure he loved children, so we know that. He also mentioned in his letter to Linda that Benjamin was the love of his life. So he did love his grandchildren and did know his grandchildren, and he took Benjamin Keough's death very, very hard. And he mentioned it on Linda's site. But this book was written before Benjamin Keough died, right? Before Lisa Marie died. Okay, so when did your first sighting occur and where were you? Did you feel threatened? Did you move around a lot because you were recognized, or was this your original plan? So I think he kind of maybe did mention that he did move around a lot because he kept getting recognized. As an example as well, when Elvis found alive, he got found. They coerced him to do the work, to do the voice in the movie. And the minute he was done with the movie and the music recordings, his security said, "Okay, get up. It's time to move." So he wouldn't be found again. All right. You mentioned living in one place for only 2 weeks. That sounds like a vacation to me. Did something happen there that made you decide to move on? Would you tell us all the places you have lived and the length of time you stayed? So those are the things that she's kind of saying. He did write a lot of the places that he lived, but he did not mention Alaska in the book, which was kind of weird, since he did meet her in Alaska at the Safeway store. All right. When did you meet someone whom you were interested enough in to develop a relationship? How many relationships have you had since 1977? Well, that's kind of a personal question. I don't think he would ever reveal that. But anyway, maybe Pepper wanted to know, how long did each of them last? Did you have any contact with any of them now? How did you meet them? Did you meet their family? Did they treat you as a regular guy after they got over the shock? Was it difficult for you to think they wouldn't tell others about you? Did you have any children with anyone other than Priscilla? If so, are they included in your will? Okay, so those questions are interesting questions. You know, there are many people that have come up and have admitted to being an illegitimate child, Elvis, but they were not included in his will. We don't know which ones, if he knows of them, if he recognizes them, and it's all personal questions, so we don't know. Did you swear people who became close to you to secrecy? After you dissolved your relationship, how did you handle it? And when you learned they had told your story? Okay, so we know that he has people sign NDAs and they keep everything secret. They go into denial or whatever, or they just go with the narrative. And after, let's see. And of course, when the way he reacted to Gail Brewer Giorgio when she revealed a tape recorded conversation after saying she was not going to tape it. He basically, cut ties with her. cut communication with her. I'm sure there was a lot of people that have done the same. He will swear them to secrecy. I think that, he talks to Linda Hood Sigmund and a couple other people. They're sworn to secrecy. They're not allowed to reveal everything that he talks to her about. She's only allowed to reveal what he wants her to reveal on the website. That's it. But these are questions that Pepper Ritter had. I recall seeing a picture in a tabloid of a young lady sitting by a tree with a child. She said she lived with you for about 2 or 3 years. Is this true? So there's a lot of personal questions she's asking. I know Christmas is a special time for you. What year were you speaking about when you said you were going to shock some people at Christmas by making an appearance? Were you visiting your girlfriend's family or your family? And in what city was it in? Did your girlfriend ease the shock somehow before you arrived? Would you tell us about those experiences? Was any of your family angry when they had not been told about your plan in 1977? So those are good questions to ask. The Elvis tapes supposedly or taped in like 1981 or around there. He mentions Christmas time, so we could say it's about 81 or 82, somewhere in there. He's talking about Christmas. That's like 3 years after. He could have told his family, his friends. I'm thinking he's talking about his close friends from when he was Elvis, that they were going to be shocked. They're going to go for it and, have a major shock. But I'm going to say they were very angry. I'm going to say Lisa Marie was very angry at her father. Very, very angry. And you could tell she was very angry with him. For many reasons, of course, But, I mean, obviously, there was, I guess, a difficult relationship between her mother and herself, so she held a lot of resentment. Imagine being a young girl and she had to hold in that news that her father is really alive from the whole entire fan population and try not to tell anybody. Yes, she slipped up a couple times, but she covered it up the best she could. All right. I imagine you read or were told about the tabloid stories about you. Are there any particularly concerned ones? And would you tell us why? Did you put a personal ad in the Anchorage newspaper asking me to call you? Did you see me sitting in the Diamond Mall 8 or 10 years after our Safeway moments? Why didn't you take a deep breath and walk over to me with a friendly smile? You knew I didn't tell any media about you at the first time we met, so why did you think I might this time? She said, what hobbies or collections are you interested in? Now, that stuff is kind of actually revealed a little bit on Linda Hood Sigmund's Truth. So, he's still into playing piano, guitar, singing. He still does that. It was revealed in Linda Hood Sigmund's that he likes to read a lot, likes to watch TV, football especially, and movies, DVD movies. And there were some other things that he would do. Earlier on, he was still doing this karate and some other like hobbies, collectible things. But I don't know now. Like, it might be different now that he's older and unable to move his fingers or whatever. But those were his hobbies, and those are kind of on Linda Hood Sigmund's Truth. So I'm surprised that Pepper was asking those questions, but maybe that wasn't revealed on Linda's site at the time when she wrote this book. I don't know. So how many people do you have on your payroll? Are any of them from an old group in Memphis? Did you interview for their positions? Were they shocked to see who they would be working for? That's kind of an interesting thing. We do not know. How have you handled your banking all these years? Does the Presley estate pay your employees? Do you pay top wages, hoping to win their silence? Have you had each of them sign a statement saying they will be kept silent about you until you are truly gone on a bigger and better things? Have you been confined in a hospital since 1977? And if so, where were you at the time? What did what name did you use? Did anyone become suspicious or tell you that you look like Elvis Presley? If so, how did you get through those times? And a lot of times there are some places in Linda Hood Sigmund's Truth where she will give you a health update. He did spend time in hospitals with surgeries, treatments for different ailments, falls and breaks, all that kind of thing. He's sick. He was sick for a while, in and out of rehabs, things like that. So those things are mentioned on Linda's site, believe it or not. And I do have a video as well if anyone's interested in his current health states of health. I do have a video of that I had summarized what he went through over the years that were revealed on Linda Hood Sigmund's Truth. So a lot of the things that maybe wasn't updated yet when Pepper wrote this book, but everything you can find about Elvis's health or Jesse Elvis's health is on this website at the bottom here. You guys can actually just type that in on the search engine and you will get that. And then you go to this one and you get the current information from, I think, 2018 all the way to today. I did check today. She has not had an update from Jesse in a while. He was having a problem with his phone, but as far as I know, he's doing okay. All right. So anyway, I'll just keep asking these questions because she's getting there, and then I'm going to stop at a certain time. Okay. So what did you do to keep yourself busy? Was it fun to retire at 42 and do what you wanted to do? Did you ever get bored? Has it been busy and easy being the boss, or have you let friendship interfere with your working relationship? Have you had plastic surgery that you no longer have to look over your shoulder? For instance, can you finally go out in public and feel totally relaxed and simply be Jesse Presley? Did you ever did you ever live on Kodiak Island? If so, how long? And when were you there? Where did you live in the parts of Alaska? Was it one of your major homes? Did you find the temperature in Anchorage much gentler than some places in the lower 48? Who was the young lady at the Safeway store who asked if you got the jalapeno peppers? Were you afraid to return with your entourage? Who gave you the order to pull the book Orion from the bookstores? Was it the same thing tried with the book? What was the same thing tried with the book Is Elvis Alive? What did you think of it? Were you surprised that Gail had so much information for us that she searched on her research? Were you angry because she published her findings? Do you now realize she did a wonderful service to your fans and the world at large? Did you think she was simply out to make money? Why would you fault her for making money? It is expensive to publish, and we all we all need to earn a living. Is it different than your concerts? Tickets aren't free. Do you know that she has never written anything negative about you? Did you have a book, The Presley Arrangement by Monte Wayne Nicholson, removed from the bookshelves? Now that you are a senior citizen, do you want to live closer to Lisa Marie and your grandchildren? Couldn't that happen and you still have privacy simply by not talking to the media? So those are all those questions that she asks. Um, I'm going to say that Gail Brewer Giorgio had mentioned, I think in the Elvis files when I read it, that with her phone call from Jesse Elvis, he approved of her work that she did, and he really liked her book and thought it was very informative. He was pretty positive with it for some reason. He revealed to her, he guised himself as Orion, and is Elvis alive from the phone calls that she had. But when the Elvis files came out, she had stated that he did like her book and her research. And she went on TV and stuff, started asking questions. But when he actually did call her as Elvis, okay, the guy that calls first to kind of set up the phone call to make sure that she doesn't tape it and all that kind of stuff, she misunderstood. Well, Jesse Elvis found out after she had taped the call and then put the tape with her book. I'm not sure if it's the Elvis files or if it was the next one. I think it was Undercover or something. I don't have it. Maybe I should buy it and read it and maybe present it here. But anyway, so he told Linda Hood Sigmund, that he didn't want Gail making any more money off of him. And that's because he was angry and he felt betrayed. And I wouldn't blame her. Some of the stuff that you will never know. You will never know if he had any other girlfriends. We knew he has a girlfriend or had a girlfriend because he reveals it in Elvis Found Alive. That he had a girlfriend for a long time. We don't know her name. It's not our business. We don't know if he had any other children after, Lisa Marie or with this girlfriend or any other girlfriends. Or that if he ever even rekindled anything with Priscilla, or he had contact with Priscilla for a while. Who knows? But anyway, so we don't know that information. It's not revealed. Some stuff he will not tell us because his safety. And so obviously his safety is a big important thing. He can't reveal how long what properties he's at or what properties he owns. He's not going to tell us that because of those. All right. I'm going to finish here with a couple more questions and then I'm going to stop because my throat's starting to scratch. So anyway, so she's saying, will you tell us what music you have done that is available for your fans to purchase? When it was completed, did you ever get old gang together like you hoped to? How did you do it? And what were the reactions you received? It appears there are many people who know you did not die in 1977. So how have you managed to keep most of them quiet? It appears your triumvirate have broken up their friendship and for so many years. How do you feel about this? Have you tried to persuade them to forgive each other and not let the friendship fail? Do you think some of it was caused by jealousy being shown near release of the book? Do you still keep in contact with the three of them? And since they were no longer close, can you trust them to follow through with your cremation and your final scheme of things? Wouldn't Lisa Marie be the best person to take care of your cremation, or possibly a lady you live with? Since you have already had a homogeneous funeral, don't you think either of them could or would handle your cremation in private so that no one would know it was done. Now, he's mentioning that in his book, he revealed that he wanted to be cremated and his ashes be buried or scattered at his birthplace. I believe that is where we kind of left off. Let me find it here. And I think she's asking those questions right here. These are his final wishes. Now, the trinumerate are basically three people that have the same birth number. Okay, so Dr. Hinton, Linda Hood Sigmund, and Tom M. Byrne. Now, Linda and Tom are still around and married, so yes, and very close to Jesse Elvis and still in contact with Jesse Elvis. And I heard Dr. Hinton is still friends with Jesse, but Linda and Dr. Hinton are not friends anymore. Okay, so as far as I know, they will, even though they're not friends, I'm sure that they will be contacted and that his wishes will be carried out. Okay. But I'm going to stop right there. And when there was a lot going on, the reason why Dr. Hinton and Linda basically broke their friendship up. And it was a lot to do with the media coverage of the book and what Dr. Hinton did on TV that made it a big, huge, gigantic mess and hurt I'm going to say the reputations of Linda Hood Sigmund and so on. Okay. So I'm going to go back up here, I think, where I left off. I'm going to try to find where I left off. Yeah, I don't see Jim here tonight, so I guess he's not able to make it. But I will check with him and see how he's doing. Hi, Sarah. How are you tonight? Doing good. Okay, so Manny. Okay, so I said hi to Sarah already, but that's okay. I'll say it again. And your name is Manny. Okay, I'm going to try to remember. Hi, Barbara. How are you tonight? I'm doing good. Hi, Tara. How are you tonight? Happy New Year to you, too. A passport to travel overseas. A good day. Good night. All right. All right. Let's see. I would think he slowed down on having so many girlfriends like he used to, and most definitely didn't want to make them mad. Yeah, I'm going to say as he got older, he didn't have that many girlfriends. And he might have like a woman that helps him, or a companion, or a friend maybe that helps him out. But I don't think romantic relationships are just not in the cards anymore for him. But anyway, that's my opinion. But anyway, let's see. I don't believe he has other children. It's all show, not true. You believe what you want to believe. Like I said, I think he has a couple illegitimate children, but they're not recognized. So, I believe he does have a couple illegitimate children. I don't believe all of them that are written books are his children. But we know that there are a couple that have gone to court and have been recognized as his half or, illegitimate children. If it wasn't for Gail Brewer, we probably wouldn't be here right now. Correct. Right. I mean, she was very instrumental in questioning, and she had every right to question, is Elvis alive? Because there was so many different what do you call it? Conflicting information, and there still is conflicting information about the happenings of that day and the eyewitness accounts and the times. Everything was really confusing and rushed, very rushed. Like, my example is like my dad died, in July, the end of July. And it took like the police, the ambulance, and all that come and look him over and take him and all that. It took a few hours for them to do that. Um, you know, but there was so much going on and so many questions. I think everybody has a right to question, but Gail Brewer had a lot of evidence, and she did a lot of, I want to say, like forensic testing and so on. Voice voice analysis on the Elvis tape. She had handwriting on the death report. Some FBI documents as well, analyzed for handwriting, and all kinds of things. And then Linda Hood Sigmund has a lot as well. Actually, she has more evidence. Elvis wouldn't deny them. That's not his character. Right. And like I said, I think he does have a couple he has a couple illegitimate children, but being technically dead the way it is, everything is quiet. We don't know exactly anything about his private life. Linda does not mention anything about his private life as well um on the website. All his private life is his private life, nothing about his children or anything like that. Right. Elvis was a good person. The scars on the legs are a giveaway, definitely. Right. Yes. And that she's referring to those people that haven't seen these videos. I'm just going to pull up this really quick. Those of you that haven't watched these videos in a while about this picture. Now, this picture is a very controversial photo. I get a bunch of different reactions to this photograph on Facebook, more than YouTube, obviously. But it is a photograph that was given to Linda Hood Sigmund and she gave it to Dr. Hinton for the book because Jesse Elvis asked her for it, asked her to use it. I mean, there's no mistaking the eyes, that smile, the chin, not really the nose. He had plastic surgery to make him less recognizable. So that's the thing, is people aren't used to seeing Elvis with white hair, but he did have blue eyes. And I think he stopped dyeing his hair for a while because it was making him bald. So he gave him, and this is the leg scars she's talking about. Elvis had leg scars on his legs. Now, the bottom picture on the right, we see those are in the left here. Those are military pictures of him enlisting in the army, and he has scars on his legs. I have some scars here circled from his movies. Up top here on the left are the leg scars. I kind of enhanced it so the scars don't look as good in this picture, but the leg scars are the same position on each leg. I mean, nobody could have the same leg scars and I don't think you could put leg scars on plastic surgery. That'd be kind of hard in the same place. Excuse me, in the same places. I'm actually very surprised that at 59 years old is when he took this picture. He was 59 years old, that he still had leg scars showing like that too. So, all right. He was also in a bathing suit, and I think people don't realize that, but he was in a bathing suit. So, like, he just got out of the lake, I think, or That's what I heard. It was a campground. There's a camper back there, and he went swimming, and he had a surprise visit. And he took Benjamin Keel with him on a riding lawnmower that was only available. I took him around the campsite for a ride. And of course, I'm not sure who took the picture, but I think it was Lisa Marie, but I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah. All right. So anyway, so I thought I would bring that up just in case some of you have never seen this coverage before, but I do have a whole video on, is that picture really Elvis and Benjamin? Excuse me. All right. I've seen somewhere saying that he was on Pine Ridge at one time. Yeah, probably. He was in a lot of places. I heard he was in Hawaii. He has a nice place in Hawaii, but I'm not sure exactly where. I also heard he was in the South, in Mississippi, North Carolina, or South Carolina, or Florida. I know he had a place in Florida. He had one in Texas. He likes the warm places because of his arthritis. Dr. Hinton's testimony was credible. Yes. And they even did a lie detector test on him for the TV when he had the TV news coverage, and he passed it. They said he was being honest. Maybe someone did. I'm not quite sure. I watched them, and I did question whether he was alive because I didn't believe the picture of him in the casket when he died was actually him. Didn't look like him in the casket at all. And of course, I was only like 7, at the time when it came out. Why did Elvis meet Dr. Hinton? Well, I'm going to say Elvis had really severe pain. And he met Linda back in 1991, I believe. And she and Dr. Hinton were very good friends. I don't know how she met Dr. Hinton, but they were very good friends. And she kind of told Dr. Hinton, hey, I know somebody that might need your help. And he was like kind of like what they call psychiatrist as well. Now, Jesse Elvis deals with twinless twin syndrome as well as chronic pain. It was revealed in this book here that he had definitely stress fractures in his spine from all his grueling performances, but from being overtaking the steroid to control his colon. I can tell you that he did have colon surgery and he was in the hospital for that. So we know that because he's on a bag. But anyway, that's how he met Dr. Hinton, was through Linda. And Linda is Shuma in the book. She just used a pen name, an alias. Hi, Pamela. Happy New Year. Hi, Francis. Happy New Year. Okay, yeah. So as far as Linda Felix Johnson is concerned, from what I understand, she was kind of like the assistant to the doctor, Dr. Hinton, like a medical assistant or something on that idea. I'm not quite sure she was his partner or medical assistant, but she worked with him. And so she also helped him treat Jesse Elvis. And she was on the TV doing the news coverage. Now, I can do the video news coverage, but I do have the news coverage videos on the live stream tab here at YouTube. You can watch that anytime underneath the Truth Book news coverage. I also did cover it on the live stream on Facebook, but those videos expire after 30 days. So a lot of these videos do not last on YouTube, on Facebook, excuse me, but they're here forever on YouTube. All right. Tried calling Jim earlier today. No response, but he did text me. Didn't say how he was. Well, I'm sorry. Like I said, I talked to him, what was it, New Year's Day, or no, actually last Saturday when I did the special, the holiday special. He said he was sick. So that's why he wasn't on. So yeah. Well, not only that, her book was pulled off, but also this book was taken off the shelves as well. The Presley arrangement. Anything that had questioned Elvis's death. And the reason why Orion was pulled off was because it was so close. It's a fictional character, and she really didn't do research on Elvis's death, really. But she wrote this fictional book, and it was so close to Elvis's faking his death and everything that the colonel actually had the book pulled. What he did was he sent people out and they bought all kinds of books out of the bookstore and took them out of the bookstore. Hi, Diana. No problem. Like I said, I was on the fence about coming on because like I said, I got a really bad, nasty nose cold, but I came on anyway. So, you know, and there's a lot add up. Hospital, garden, you know, you never went to the hospital. Yeah. Well, there was some other things that were really odd too. I think just even Joe Esposito's recollection of the whole event kind of threw me off too. But anyway, I'm not computer savvy. Please, Joy, wish him a happy birthday and thank to me for me. Thank you. Okay, Pamela, I will when I get a chance get on Linda Hood Sigmund and I will get on the message board and I'll send him your birthday wish. All right. Could do that. If anybody else who can't get on the for some reason the message board to messages to Jesse Elvis, if you want to send a message to him, you can always put it in the comments on Facebook and I will copy and paste them and send them on the message board for you if you want, or you could try getting it on yourself. The link for that is in the featured section of the group and on the page on Facebook. It's also in the post section of YouTube. So anybody who wants to send Jesse Elvis a birthday wish, New Year's wish, or whatever, you can do it until his birthday, which is January 8th, which is coming up real quick. So get your birthday wishes in for him if you want. All right. I was told earlier that I wasn't welcome on the Elvis A to Z site because I told them if they wanted to know the truth to go to your site and they didn't like that. Well, that's pretty sad. All right. Well, that's the way it is. People are going to believe what they want to believe. Okay. So, but thank you for recommending it. They were trying to say that Elvis files. They were reading a script. I probably were. I'm going to say at least Bill was. I'm not sure about the actual people, but it could be scripted. But I'm going to say that most of the people on that show knew. Uh, it was pretty consistent. All right. Especially Gene Smith. I'm going to say something. Okay, so there was a couple of places where Gene Smith is mentioned. Gene Smith is mentioned in Linda Hood Sigmund's Truth. He was the one that brought Gail Brewer Giorgio some ammunition because Elvis promised to give her some ammunition to help her out. And it was the death report. So Gene Smith shows up on Gail Brewer Giorgio's doorstep with a copy of the death report in which Elvis signed his own information excuse me, I can't even speak today. All right, so his death report, which I have pictures of somewhere, but he signed it. And she brought it to a handwriting analysis. This is not a good picture, but up here, he filled it out, and his name is signed, and they took that and they analyzed it with his normal signature and said it's definitely his signature. Well, why would he fill out his own death report if he wasn't alive? So that's a good question. All right. Why is that picture the only one ever shown? Because that's the only one he allows. I think that was the most comfortable one. He said that it was a picture that he was most comfortable with, without his disguises and all that kind of stuff. I do not know why. It's a pretty revealing photo as far as like maybe it showed some other evidences that he wanted Linda to have. His leg scars. If he had regular clothes on and sunglasses on and a beard, and it was taken, he could have said to Linda, here you go, but he's in disguise, so no one would believe. But this one is a little more revealing. Even though he had plastic surgery, you still can see a lot of Elvis in that photo, especially in the smile, the collarbone, the leg scars, the body type, the haircut is very similar to what he used to do in the 70s. In his eyes, well, he had eye surgery. Obviously, eyelids done. It's a possibility. Like I said before in prior videos, I had a friend who had eyelids that drooped like his. Like he had heavy eyelids. And the problem was as she was aging, they started overlapping on her eyes and she couldn't see. They had to reduce her eyelids. And so she didn't have any more puffiness as well around her eyes. So that's probably why his eyes look a little different, but not that much different. All right. So that's the only one that he allows. And he doesn't allow any new ones because I think he just wants to live life the way he is now. And if no one knows what he looks like, no one's going to find him. He just doesn't want to be bothered, like that. He wants to live private and safe. His safety too, I think. She did mention something in the book that she questioned about what he was doing after 1977. So I'm just going to tell you some of the things that was revealed in Is Elvis Alive and Elvis Files book. All right, this book here. And then what was revealed on Elvis Found Alive documentary. And some things that he did in here after 1977. There wasn't much here that he talked about as far as career. From what I understand, and Jim, who has talked to him or has contact that knows him, he, I guess, recorded some songs for Jimmy Ellis as Orion and did do some touring with Orion, but I'm not sure how much. But he did record quite a few songs as Orion. Long Tall Sally is definitely Elvis singing that. Crazy Little Thing Called Love. And a couple other songs. Basically on the LP. So he did do some songs. And Jimmy Ellis was like the front or the front guy in the thing. But Jimmy Ellis did do some of his own singing. His voice was so close that they could get away with it. The other options is 1981. This album comes out. Still Nora. This is done by an Elvis fan club. For the Elvis fan clubs. Sounds just like him. The talking pieces, just like his voice. 1981, Civil War. The other recordings that I know of is down in Mississippi. That was by Steven Silver, and that voice is very reminiscent of Elvis's voice. So I think there's a couple gospel songs that I've heard, and I could listen to like Amazing Grace and a couple other gospel songs. Listen to down in Mississippi, and I could hear the soulness, the tone of his voice. Even though Jimmy Ellis claims to get the credit for that, the reason why is because Elvis also worked for the FBI throughout his whole all his life, the rest of his life. Behind the scenes in the FBI, dealing with the cases that he was working on as Elvis, the mobs and the mobsters and the mafia and all kinds of things. And if I remember correctly, in the 80s and the 90s, the mafia families got like arrested and everything. He was probably involved in that in the background. According to Elvis Found Alive, he was in intelligence, worked in the intelligence department. But he said in the book here that he tried to do some raids. He did some in Miami, some in Denver, and got recognized. So he did do some police work or FBI work after 1977. But he also, so those are the things. I think as far as music or entertainment, I mean, Spelling on the Stone, the album Spelling on the Stone sounds just like Elvis. That would be the album he would be recognized, talking about in the Elvis tapes, where he said he's going to work on an album. It's going to be different than he ever did before. It's going to be the best album he ever made, so on and so forth. That one is definitely it. Now, what he did was he would give people the credit. He would record it. Everyone would ask, okay, who is this? It's anonymous. Eventually, they gave it to someone who sounds like Elvis or has a similar sound in his voice. You get away with it, like Dan Willis. I have a bunch of albums by Dan Willis, and he doesn't sound like Elvis singing, and that's definitely not his voice on Spelling on the Stone. But he did do it. Elvis did do it. Okay. And so there might be two other recordings we don't know about. But he did do all the soundtrack to Elvis Found Alive, which is the 15 songs on Elvis Found Alive as John Burroughs. And those are, as far as I know, the only updated recordings. 2011 as John Burroughs on, I think you can get it on this channel, Highway 61, for free. You can listen to it. You can also listen to it on Linda Hood Sigmund Truth, or you can buy your own downloads on Apple and iTunes and all that kind of stuff. Excellent album. Anyway, so that kind of answered Pepper's answers here. Like I said, I don't know if she went and did any research or any kind of extra reading that she could probably found those out on her own, those questions. But his personal life, you will never find any information about him. And so I hope that helps you, Rhett. Highway 12 over Hartsville, not far from me. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. And that is one of the places that he mentioned in the book. The other one was he talked about in here the Arizona property. I think Jim lived in that town, and that's where he saw him at the Safeway. Excuse me. I do not know that answer, Michelle. Honestly, he used to go to it. I think he said he used to break into it at night, get what he needed, or he would go there at night. I heard some people say he was upstairs, and some people have seen like a figure upstairs in Elvis's room looking out at the crowds leaving or coming in, but I'm not sure. But as far as I know, he hasn't gone there since lately. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that mobility and other things. safety. Yeah. Hi, Joyce. Ben, is there a change in his health? I just hopped down here and I missed the first part. No change in his health that I know of. At the moment, he's okay. I know he had a stroke last year, but he hasn't had one since. And I don't know anything else more other than that he does spend a lot more time in a wheelchair. He has neuropathy and other issues, health issues. Hi, Peggy. Hi, Joy. His body with the white hair reminds how he looked back in 58 when he was going into the army. Right. I'm going to say that the body type, I mean, if you just look at his like overall body type, when he's sitting on that and you see pictures of him sitting down playing the ukulele and stuff like that, you could tell like tone of muscles, the way his body is, the collarbone. I think just the angle in which he smiles and the droop down in the bottom part of his lip over here and the teeth. I mean, it's kind of a fuzzy photo because it's taken at like the pixels weren't that great back in 1994 when it was taken within a cell phone and it looks far away. But you could still see his smile. And I mean, if you were to look at like Riley, when she smiles, her lip goes down like that too, and over here. I do that too. Mine droops. Like I get a crooked smile. I think Scientology is behind some of the threats also toward him. Definitely. I know that once you have a hit on you from the mafia or whatever, it's remains the rest of your life. He was dealing with intelligence, so you could say he's got government secrets. Um, yeah, Scientology and EPE, I'm going to say, can put some pressure on him as well, not to come out and all that kind of thing. Yes, it is now available. I believe it was a reprint. This is a reprint. I think it's a brand new anniversary edition. It was a reprint. I have it too. I bought it, but I never finished reading it. Maybe I'll open it one day and read it. So because it's a current, um, they reprinted it for anniversary reprint. Yeah, me too. I mean, it's running in the house. Like my husband got sick at Christmas. My son was sick at Christmas. Now my mother and I are both ill with colds. So it's just running from one person to the next person to the next person. I guess that's just the way it is. And it's wintertime and very freezing outside. So the more it's cold, the more I have a runny nose anyway. So sinuses and all that kind of stuff. I hope he still goes to Graceland. He loves it so much. Right, but I'm gonna say that unless unless Graceland has a wheelchair, I mean not a wheelchair, but an elevator, I don't think he'd be going to Graceland anytime too soon or a handicap ramp. I don't know if they got one of those either, but like I said, I've never been there, so I can't tell you. But if he does go, it would be when Graceland is closed for from the public and with family. Why is there no definite proof that he's still alive? Really? I don't know. I'm gonna say that plenty of proof on lindahoodsigmundstruth.com. Handwriting samples match Elvis's handwriting, DNA matching first cousins on both sides of the family, um, matching picture of him right there with Benjamin. Uh, many sightings, people that know him, that have met him or talked to him. including Pepper Ritter, who experienced him, actually hugged him in the store, uh, squeezed his love handles, and so on. Um, yeah, there's, I guess I'm going to say, plenty of proof that he is alive. And they also did DNA. They found out that the match that the liver sample DNA did not match the autopsy samples, which is interesting too. Um, so yeah. So there's plenty of evidence, and there is definite proof that he's alive. I'm gonna say, those of you that are still questioning whether he's still alive, your best bet is to do a lot of research, read a lot of books, and you can watch all my videos on my channels. I've actually read this book in complete. I've read this book, which is The Truth About Elvis, Aron Presley in His Own Words. I've read that book. I've read this book, The Elvis Files, and then a bunch of other videos that I have done. Um, so I don't know if that helps. But anyway, Pijo, do you think the truth will come out after he passes away? They'll really tell someone? I don't know. What's revealed on Linda's site is that he did a DVD, like 8 minutes long, telling him how everything was done, how it happened, and proof that he's still around, and so on. Um, I'm assuming done by him. I'm not sure. I don't think he'll have any kind of like um disguises or whatever. Maybe, I don't know, but it won't be out till after he's dead, and we don't know if it's actually going to happen. But let's pray it does, that the truth comes out soon. Okay. I'm writing these down because I'm going to say is that these comments won't show up on the actual like comments after this video is done on YouTube. It might show up on Facebook, but not YouTube. So I'm just gonna write your names down, and then, if you're commenting from Facebook, I can copy and paste. If not, I will just mention you. Dr. Hinton is credible. That's all you need for evidence. Right. And like I said, Linda Hood Sigmund's Truth, and I'm going to put that website up again. So anybody who's questioning this information, if you go on this website, lindahoodsigmundstruth.com, you will get information about the picture, DNA, handwriting, voice analysis of the music, and information about Orion Pictures and a lot of other things, because he also did behind the scenes. He worked for a production company, wrote scripts, and also was extras in movies. Not Home Alone, not that guy in Home Alone, but he did extras in movies, and it would be like covered, like, disguised well. Okay. Leave the poor man alone. Let him rest. Don't let him push more and more and more and more. He don't want to give it. Wants rest. Yeah, he does. He wants rest, but he just wants privacy. He just wants to live a normal life and just end his days in peace and quiet. Gotta tell everyone he didn't go into hiding to make a grand appearance later down the road. Right. And I think he also I think he went into hiding for many reasons. But he knew that it would be foolish of him to go back into what he did before and live that lifestyle. He said it multiple times in many recordings that it would be very foolish of him, including the Elvis tape and on Linda's site. And he said, I will never go back to where I was. My body hurts too much, he said. My back hurts too much, he said. Because I don't think that he ever want to go back to the lifestyle because I don't think he can. He's in a lot of pain. I thought I read somewhere that Deborah Presley Brando went on board of Graceland. I really do not know. You'll have to ask her. I do not know. I know that Deborah Presley Brando, her book came out, and she reveals in it that Elvis is alive. Quite interesting. But anyway. And Joy, Happy New Year to everyone. Joy, have you heard from Linda lately? I hope that the new year, Jesse Elvis will give us an update through Linda. God bless him and everyone. Okay, hi Colleen. Like I said, she has not heard from him in a while. I think the last update was last week where she said that she heard from the go-between. He has heard from him. He needs a new phone, but he's doing okay. But yes, I'd like to have her hear from him too. But I know she's also dealing with her own health issues too, so she's not on as much as she used to be. I wonder why Jimmy Ellis was killed, because nothing was taken. I have a feeling the EPE was behind it to keep him from talking. Well, there are some theories about this. Now, my friend Jim had mentioned to me that he thinks that the mafia was involved because they were looking for Elvis. They knew that Elvis probably did some stuff for Orion, or thought Jimmy Ellis was or wasn't going to tell him. He kind of had an idea that it might happen to him, like maybe he was getting threats and didn't say anything. But he was brutally murdered, and I guess the people that murdered him were caught, but nothing was revealed. So I don't know anything else more than that. But yeah, it could have been something to do with Elvis. Either he knew that he was alive, maybe they wanted to find out where he was, and he wasn't going to tell them, and they just said okay, and they set up a robbery. We don't know. From what I understand, I heard that cash register was taken, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I didn't hear that right. But anyway, it was a brutal murder, and it's sad. I would like to surprise you, meet you in person, to talk to you. I feel like you've earned it and deserved it. Yeah, well, I don't think he'll ever call me, but that's okay. That's fine with me. I think I would die of a heart attack. He doesn't have my contact information anyway. Joining late. Hi, Karen. I have the original copy of the Presley arrangement. Loved it. Right. I mean, like I said, I got the anniversary issue because it was out and I bought it. I never read it. Maybe I should read it. It does have an elevator. Him and Priscilla used to run it and use it all the time. The back way. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay, so I guess it does have an elevator. Well, that's a good thing. Well, maybe he does go in it. I don't know. What I understand, he doesn't go in it unless it's closed or at night. So wheelchairs can go up to go up, go into Graceland, but not upstairs. Riley wanted it available for all to. Yeah, Mitchell has actually seen and met him live, so alive. Yes, Mr. Joyce. Well, um, I don't know. I haven't seen the recording, but I know he says that he was born Bob Joyce, will always be Bob Joyce. So that's all I'm going to say on that. Anyway, I believe there has been some updating for handicap accessory in Graceland. Seems like I read that somewhere. Right. And I guess someone just told me that there's an elevator in Graceland. And someone told me that Priscilla and Elvis used to use it. So maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know. But maybe. Yeah. Just the image died. The real guy, he's still alive. Trust me. And Jim is related. Yeah. Yeah, he's like second cousin or third cousin. I also think Mitchell here on this channel is who's commenting is also a cousin on Gladys' side. Yeah, some family members on here say he's alive. They would know. Yeah. What is your name on Facebook? Well, Facebook page is the same name as the YouTube channel here. The man is alive. If you look up that, you'll find it. That's the name of the channel here on YouTube, and it's the same name on Facebook. I have a page there. You can look it up. I do more stuff on YouTube than I do on Facebook because a lot of the Facebook lives expire after 30 days, but everything here on YouTube stays forever. Anyway. How did you get to know him? Or do you talk to him personally? All of respect to you. I don't get a chance. I never talked to him personally, but I know some people who did or do. I'm in contact with Linda Hood Sigmund, um, and a couple other people that know him or have seen him or experienced him. I actually talked to Pepper as well. She doesn't remember the phone call. She's kind of old, but I was on the phone with her for 3 hours. She told me the whole story. So, yeah. Well, I'm just gonna let you know that um, you gotta do your homework. First of all, you start with questions. That's all I'm gonna say. You can believe what you want to believe. We believe here on this channel that he is alive and that he is living an alias in hiding. And there's plenty of evidence and plenty of contradictions in the story that was told about his death. And then also there were many hints, including Priscilla, who sang happy birthday to him in 2022 on the candlelight vigil. Why would you sing happy birthday? And then she says, oh, he's probably like this, hiding underneath his phone. Anyway, but I also have a good friend of mine that comes on with me sometimes, and he has met him. in person and has talked to him plenty of times. He did what he had to do. He was very ill, and he did what he had to do. And there's plenty of books about this topic as well. Can't remember his name, but it was back on the black guy, and he didn't take nothing. Right. Yeah. Right. I mean, if he called me, I would be like, what? No way. No, I don't think he would be calling me. He had to call Linda first. He doesn't have my contact information, and I don't know him, so. I really don't know. Someone told me there's an elevator at Graceland. I don't know where. Thank you. That would be nice. I'm not sure. Someone said there was. Some people say there isn't. I have no idea. Like I said, I've never been there. I think we just had James Martin and Wanda Jackson talking about Elvis. Interesting interview. I bet. Yeah. You're welcome. All right, you're welcome. I mean, if you had already sent him a Christmas and New Year's wish, I don't know. I just did one. I wrote him, and I wrote Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and Happy Birthday. I did all three. It was so awkward writing him, but it's quite interesting. I think this is the third year I've written him messages. And then I've sent people's personal messages, people that I struggle with finding the site, and people that computer illiterate, you know. Thank you, Mitchell. But anyway, I don't know about that, but I think he lives down south somewhere. But I could be wrong, especially in the winter. I don't think he's in Kalamazoo right now, but he moves around a lot, so we don't know where he is. Right. I don't have any reasons to lie. Like I said, I did all my research, and that's enough. Hey, okay. But I hope you had a nice New Year's Eve. I seen a concert that Elvis didn't physically move to the music. Really? Wow. Maybe I think he was in a lot of pain. I don't know when, um, but for a while there, he wasn't moving much. Maybe, I don't know. Really? You think there's an underground passage? That's quite interesting. That would be interesting. Huh. Yeah, you never know these days. I don't think it would be no, wouldn't I think it wasn't built till like 1903. So I'm thinking like you know how they have those underground railroad passages. Anyway, Linda should have plenty of phone recordings, just saying. Actually, Linda has letters that he has written to her. And those letters, you know, the handwriting is unmistakable. And she had the graphologist from the courts actually, you know, look at the handwriting, and it was his. Well, you're welcome. God bless you too. There are various photos online of the upstairs of the floor plans, but it doesn't show that. Yeah, so I don't know, Charles. I don't know. All I know is if there's no elevator, that's probably why he's not there. Anyway, exactly. Once you've seen the misspelling on his grave, the handwriting on the death certificate, and the wax stomach, you become a believer. Exactly, and there was plenty more evidences. There's the, let's say this, the Aztec suit. If you were to look at that suit with the sundial, I think I might have a reel on that and a short on that. It shows, the count, the points, 816. He had this all planned by numerology. There's the handwriting, there's the spelling on the grave, there's the picture at the pool house, which was taken in January of 1970, December of 1977. I mean, it looks like Elvis to me. There's this picture here that was given to Linda Hood Sigmund with Benjamin. If you were to take that picture and show it with other kid, with, let's see, comparisons. Let's do this. Eyes, smiles, cheeks, chin, leg scars, markings on the face. Maybe like certain, like, forehead marks here, and eye lines. Not necessarily, but look at this smile here. The smile's quite interesting. Or the teeth lines. Anyway, collarbones, hands. I don't think the hands are really that good on the Jesse picture, but it's pretty good. He has swollen hands there, so. But this is the picture. There's Benjamin. And in the letter, it says, this letter identifies the child, Benjamin Storm, born October 21st. He was almost 2 years old, the love of his life. And if you were to look at the Google information, it tells you Benjamin's name, Benjamin Storm Presley Keel, his birthday. Here's some pictures of Benjamin and the boy here in the picture. Face, shape, everything. Now, if this really wasn't someone that Lisa Marie knew, why would she have a weird, strange guy holding her child and taking a picture? Okay. Elvis signed his name Elvis Aaron Presley with 2 A's in a divorce document with Priscilla, which was released. Right, but his marriage certificate has 1 A. And all of his documents have 1 A, including his social security card. And I think this was quite interesting. I did have a video. I think it was when we were going over the spelling on the stone, Elvis files, or even is Elvis alive. I have a feature thing about the different documents that have Elvis's middle name spelled with 1 A. Only on his death, divorce papers or his separation papers or whatever they were, he spells it with 2 A's. Maybe they really weren't divorced yet. Who knows? Don't know. Anyway, I think that was just kind of strange. He would tell all his documents, including his. Let me see if I can get it up now. Give me a second. Even the death report. His death report has 1 A as well. It's spelled with one A. I don't have a copy of it right now, but I do have it. Yeah. Part of the plan when leaving Linda T, Red, Sunny West, even Ginger was part on the plan. Didn't know it. The weight gain and more. I'm not sure. I know that he had mentioned in this book here, which we haven't covered yet, is that he said that he found the most naive person in Ginger Eldon. And Linda Hood Sigmund had mentioned that him and Linda Thompson uh, broke up in time for him to hook up with Ginger because Linda was too observant and Ginger wasn't as observant. Heard the picture of the pool house was bought from the guy as a hush hush. Yeah, I don't know. I know that he was given it. I know that he had mentioned it. It went all over on Elvis files and all over the place. And it was admitted to by Jesse Elvis on Linda Hood Sigmund's Truth. I think he might. I think he might know about the award accepted by Riley in his honor, but I'm not sure. I know he knew about the postage stamp. I know he knew about the presidential medal. So he probably knew about this as well. Oh, my mother said he was my daddy's. Nice meeting you. Huh. Nice meeting you too. I have proof that past communication with Elvis. I know he's alive by letters. Right. Cool. That's really awesome. Yeah, like he wrote Linda a lot of letters too. I think he also wrote a signed a picture by Jim from um for Jim as well and sent it to him. He sent it to him like a 2014, I think he said, and it signed Elvis and everything, and the nice note in the back identifying Linda and Tom. Yeah, I know she's in and out of the bedroom right now. I'm dog sitting, and the dog that came to stay for the night is kind of let's say I doesn't like cats, so she's in the bedroom with me. So she climbs up all over the place. Yeah, yeah. I know his hands were all packed up as well, breaking bricks and wood and all that too from karate. Excuse me. Why would change to two A's if his mother spelt it like that to remind him of Jesse Garin? Right. It was in honor of Jesse Garin. He spelt it with one A. They always gave him one A. He always said something like his mom wasn't educated and they spelt it one way, but I think it's because it in memory of Jesse Garin. Maybe I have no idea. Anyway, two A's. He's still alive, right? Doesn't want to spell it correctly because he wasn't dead. Well, that's true. That's true. A equals alive. He did say that. He said A meant said what stood for the extra A stood for alive. Also, Gail Brewer Giorgio had mentioned the numerology theory on the extra A as well. And if you were to look at the gravestone for Jesse Garin, at Graceland, they added an I at the end as well. So it's Jessie on the stone for Jesse Garin at Graceland. Now, I always say the I means I am Jesse. Now, That's not, I don't know what he said about that, but that's what I'm thinking. If Amy's alive, and I am Jesse now. Anyway, Elvis wrote his death report that was kind of available. The autopsy is sealed, and we don't ever know if it's ever going to come out. Has his death insurance policy ever opened? I think he had like cashed in 2 and kept 1 open, and it was never cashed in or never redeemed. Right. Linda Thompson would have known right away. He is in a wheelchair. I have a picture of me pushing him in it. Wow. Retired nurse. Okay, well, please do not share that photo because I'm assuming he would not like that right now. But thank you very much for showing that or telling us about that. That's awesome. And we don't want to know where he is right now either, okay? Let's keep that safe. All right. And keep him safe. But that's awesome. Yeah. He said to Linda that he was in a wheelchair quite often. I wasn't sure if he was in it all the time or some of the time, but he did? Well, I don't know about that, but I don't think he'll ever come out. Imagine the mob scene that would happen. Might chill if he ever came out. Yeah, I don't know where Jim is tonight. I think he's sick. I don't know. He's been not feeling well lately. You might want to just keep him in your prayers. I'm gonna check with him tonight. Sometimes he comes on, sometimes he doesn't. So I have photos of 90-year-old Elvis on his little big, yeah, he's South Texas right now by the coast. Yes, he lives in Florida. Close to Lisa Marie, and in the UK he lived many places, sweet joy. Well, thank you very much. I wish you didn't tell me where he was though. Oh man. uh, yeah, I kind of figured somewhere in the south. Okay, anyway. He's offline, but I have his number. Well, that's cool. Right. But they also said he had another insurance policy. He cashed in for money. Like you can get cash, cash, what they call it. Cashing in and get money. Maybe you needed it for something. Who knows? I think it was somewhere between 74 and 75 when they started putting the plan together. Oh, all I know is what is revealed in the book is that he said that the colonel was a mastermind. He started planning it in 74. He was going to do it in 76 and chickened out and did it in 77. And that Joe Esposito was in on it, Larry Geller was in on it, and obviously Howard Hughes and Rob Wolf had a lot to do with it and helped him out with it. And we don't know who else amongst his close people, he doesn't reveal it, who was in on the plan. All right, so that's all I know. I don't know anything else. As far as I know, I don't think Priscilla knew about it till Lisa Marie found out. Why just open part of it and not at all? That's strange with the money problem. I don't know. What do you mean? Yeah. Okay. All right. So I don't know where this question mark is, but that's okay. So I'm going to, guys, it's getting late. It's almost an hour and 40 minutes, and my throat's starting to hurt. So I'm going to let you guys go. You guys have a great night. God bless you all. And I'm going to finish with the Half a Reconsider Baby by Civil Nora. And we'll see you next week. Hopefully, if not, I will send you guys a message or put a message on the post. If I don't have a voice, I won't be on. So with the cold that's running around, it's pretty serious right now. So we're all been pretty sick here with a cold. So I'm going to finish up with this and check your comments. And you guys have a good night. God bless you all.
So long, oh how I hate to see you go. Well, so long, baby, oh how I hate to see you go. Well, the way that I will miss you, child, I guess you'll never know. You said you once said love me, but now I guess you changed your mind. You said you once said love me, yeah, but now I guess you changed your mind. I'm gonna let you go ahead on home now, baby. Pray that you come back home sometime. We've been together so long,